All righty. Well, welcome one and welcome all to the one, the only Junk Shop Library channel, home of My Favorite Bible Verse, where we take suggestions from both within and without the community, suggestions from atheists, suggestions from theists, suggestions from anyone who'll interact with the question, really, as to what their favorite Bible verse is, and we then read it cold from a modern atheist humanist perspective. We had an interesting time with this last time. The Bible verse in question was provided by someone whose religious background I do not know. Today's is provided by a Twitter user named SoCal Theist, who trolled me beautifully when I announced this series. And I am not being sarcastic. I crafted the original announcement, said, you want to hear me talk about your favorite Bible verse, just tag me here or on, I said tag me here or on Instagram, or maybe it was on, I don't remember where all I said, get hold of me. And tell me what the reference is. And then appended a series of hashtags. I used atheist, atheism, blasphemy, and blasphemer. Just throwing as wide a net as I could. And it wasn't long before I got a response from someone whose Twitter handle, at least, seems to indicate that they have a theistic background, who listed their favorite Bible verse and then used exactly the same hashtags: atheism, atheist, blasphemy, and blasphemer. Beautiful Twitter work. I was so happy. All right. Well, we'll be turning today to the Gospel according to St. Matthew, the 11th chapter, verses 28, 29, and 30. I have absolutely no idea what we're in for. So, cross your fingers and hold your nose. Into the Bible Junk Shop goes. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Not exactly the verses that stand in the most perfect meshing and alignment with certain of the other sayings of Jesus in the New Testament, huh? What happened to take up your cross and follow me? What happened to whoever hates his father and mother can follow me into the kingdom of God? What happened to I have come not to bring peace, but a sword? Nah, this is one of those happy Jesus verses. This isn't him smiting the fig tree. This is him enticing people to follow him. And interestingly, doesn't say Come follow me of your own free will. Come walk beside me. It says, strap on my yoke and take up my burden. Jesus wants you to be his farm animal. Jesus wants you to do the work for him. This is a verse that I found comforting when I was a kid. Back in Sunday school and churching days. I didn't really understand what a yoke was at the time, of course. I know I'm going to have comments from theists saying, how dare you? There are no contradictions in the Bible, and I'm going to have paragraphs, I say, of apologetics. But, no, sorry, y'all, they're just wrong. There are contradictions in the Bible, and the New Testament has as many as the Old. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light, is not the same thing as he who does not hate his father and his mother cannot follow me, or take up your cross and follow me. Lift onto your shoulders the means of your own execution and come trudging after me up the hill. I don't think that counts as your yoke is easy and your burden is light, Jesus. That sounds like a heavy-ass burden with a denouement at the end of that story that I got no interest in experiencing. This is somebody's favorite Bible verse. I don't know how much more there is to say about it. Really? My yoke is easy and my burden is light. And yet all his disciples except one traditionally died horrible, horrible deaths. Christianity is patriarchal. Burdens may be easier for men, not necessarily for women, says Fran. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit, you might be right. And Microraptor has for us a contradiction, a fairly glaring one, between a New Testament commandment and an Old Testament commandment. Jesus wants us to hate our father and mother. Yahweh wants us to honor them. How can you honor someone and hate someone at the same time? Is that some Orwellian stuff? Is that doublethink? Or is it just stupid shit in this stupid book that contradicts one to another? I don't know. I'm sure there's apologetics out there trying to reconcile it, but I would submit they're likely wrong. There's only so much interpretation and exegesis you can drag from the pages of a book before you just have to admit you're putting shit in there that ain't in there. There's a point at which you just have to acknowledge that what's between the covers is what's between the covers. And it doesn't matter how far you peel back the comforter, you're not going to find anything between those covers that wasn't in there to begin with. About beat that metaphor to death, hadn't I? Hey, Paul, fancy meeting you here. All right. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot to say about this. I was expecting it to be a little juicier. We got a little bit. We got some good sound bites out of it, though. 10-minute episode. Junk Shop's algorithm isn't going to know what to do with it. Well, before we wrap up here, let me do a quick hello to the chat. Fran, oh, that's a good point, Fran. For the era, the burden may have seemed light in comparison to cultures who sacrificed people. That's an interesting point. This new apocalypse cult of Christianity, it at least didn't demand that you sacrifice your virgin daughters, or sons. I don't know. Check in with the chat and say hello to everybody who's joined me here on this peculiar little Saturday. We got Mr. Shadow Kitty. We got Kevin Lentini. Mark Caesar, the man from down under. Good to see you, my friend. Fran Wilson, Microraptor, Geo Sam, Amiga Nuts. How's it going? Let Jesus do his own dang work, says Amiga Nuts. Wild Eden, hello, how are you today? Godless Sewing, lovely to see you as always. Paul Kemish, the man with more Christmas decorations than you'd ever believe. And last but not least, my wonderful wife, Julie LaVoice. Good to see you, sweetheart. All right, well, we're going to wrap up here then. Thank you all so much for joining me. Extra special thanks to my patrons, whose names you see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Those are the folks that keep us afloat and keep us streaming so many times a week, and keep us from doing it in the dark, because that would be weird. Hey, Ox. And in a special particular, got to send a special thank you to my top 2 tiers of patrons, my illuminated manuscript Captain Kimothy, and my genuine calfskin level patrons, Bill, and my first patron, Paul Kamish. Thank you all so very, very much. You go above and beyond in your support of the channel, and I appreciate it. Absolutely no end. If you too would like to join the forces of Patreon for the library, you can visit this address you see at the bottom of the screen, patreon.com/junkshoplibrary, and sign up for as little as $1 a month. Wasn't that smooth? See how I did that? All right. As we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care. Be safe. Stand against hate. We'll see y'all again soon. Be well.